You ever watch a grown woman in pearls collapse in front of a steel gate she thought she owned? Because I have, and let me tell you, it was one for the books. I can still hear those golf carts screaming down the dirt road like it was the damn Indy 500, dust flying everywhere, sunrise catching every single panic line on Cheryl's face. She was clutching that clipboard like it was a shield, waving a cease and desist letter in the other hand, hollering, "You can't block our road," like the world was ending. But see, that was the thing. It was my road, always had been. You want to know how you break an HOA queen? You take away the land she built her fake little kingdom on, and I did one steel latch at a time while she stood there blinking like maybe reality was gonna bend for her if she screamed loud enough. But let me back up a sec, because this war, it started a long time before I ever closed that gate. I never set out to be anybody's villain or hero. Bought my granddad's ranch for the same reason he did, 40-some acres of cedar gravel, silence, and the kind of morning light that soaks into your bones. I wanted peace. I'd worn plenty of titles in my life, veteran, stubborn, cuss amateur fence mender, but all I wanted was quiet. Just the old stories about hard work and legacy, the smell of sun-warmed wood, the sound of boots on gravel, a place where nobody cared what color your mailbox was or how straight your lawn looked. But the ranch came with neighbors and HOA so obsessive they made the DMV look laid back. Their subdivision sat right across the tree line, all cookie-cutter lawns and golf carts buzzing around like angry bees. Every porch light the same, every flower bed approved by committee right down to the shade of mulch. And at the top of that little pyramid, Cheryl, the kind of woman who could ruin your day with a smile clipboard held like a sword, eyes hunting for violations nobody else could see. Her kingdom stopped at her fence line, or so she thought. Trouble was, their only access road didn't belong to them. It cut straight across my land, a stretch of gravel and dirt my family built, graded and maintained since before the subdivision was even a rumor. But that's the kind of detail folks like Cheryl don't notice, at least not until someone makes them. At first I figured it was harmless. They dropped a glossy welcome packet in my mailbox, blue ribbon, gold sticker, all perfumed up like a hotel bathroom. 40 pages of rules. Maintain community standards, it said. I nearly spit out my coffee. I don't even live in your community, lady. Walked it back the next day, handed it to Cheryl herself. Think there's been a mistake. She gave me a smile so tight I swear it cracked a molar. We expect cooperation from all residents in the area. I'm not in your area, I said. Just your neighbor. Her eyes narrowed like she was trying to squint me into compliance. Then came the golf cart patrols circling my gate, lingering too long, whispering like I was some kind of wild animal loose in the hedges. Pamphlets, notes, sideways glances. Didn't take a genius to see they were itching to own the one thing they didn't build that road. And believing they could. Yeah, that was their first mistake. See, my family's been out here longer than anybody in those matchy-matchy houses. My granddad cleared the first acre with a dull axe. My dad stretched the fence line, every post set by hand, sweat and calluses, not a landscaping crew in sight. That old road carried livestock, hay deliveries, fire trucks during bad seasons, and now and then the battered boots of a stubborn kid tagging along behind his dad. That road was lifeblood, not just gravel. And out here, a private road isn't a driveway, it's a shield, a lifeline. The difference between getting help in time or not at all. But the HOA, they just didn't get it. Their world ran on rules and rumors, not roots and memory. They measured hedges, regulated porch colors, fined you for wind chimes. They operated on power and gossip, and Cheryl ran the show like a queen, terrified of losing even a sliver of control. The first real warning shot that came as a violation notice stuck to my gate, flapping in the wind. Unapproved livestock. I laughed so hard I nearly dropped it in the mud. My cattle have been out here since before their subdivision broke ground. 2 days later, another notice. Fence color non-compliant. Buddy, it's cedar, nature's favorite color. By the third fine, I'd had enough. So I did what any rational human with a legal brain and a short fuse does: spread every deed, every county map, every survey down on my kitchen table. My granddad's handwriting still marked every margin, every line crisp and clear. Private property, private road, full control. And let me just toss out a free legal nugget. HOA rules end at their property line. They don't cross a fence, a ditch, or a single blade of grass that doesn't belong to them, no matter how many pamphlets they print. But that didn't stop them. Not even close. Next came a parade of ridiculousness. HOA volunteers measuring setbacks on my road, strangers walking the fence line with clipboards, a steady increase in golf cart slow rolls and not-so-casual glances. And then the twist. One morning, there's a camera planted on a stake at the edge of my pasture, pointed straight at my barn, HOA logo, bright as day. They didn't even try to hide it. I yanked it up, dropped it on my truck. Minutes later, Cheryl's patrol screeches up, huffing about community security. "It's on my land," I said, not backing up an inch. They left, but I could tell losing control made them twitchy. Then it turned digital. Folks in the neighborhood started acting weird, smiles a little too tight, avoiding eye contact, Facebook posts cropping up about unstable neighbors and dangerous behavior. Someone screenshots the HOA Facebook group for me. There's my name me the villain in their little suburban drama. And Cheryl, well, she was feeding that narrative with both hands. A neighbor finally confided she's telling everyone you're threatening legal action, that you're aggressive. I just shook my head. "Doesn't matter," he said. "Truth's got nothing to do with it once the board believes something." After that, things got nasty. Fence wire cut twice, gate tampered, mail missing. And the HOA, not our problem. Maybe your lifestyle invites risk. Cheryl sniffed, eyes shining with fake innocence. Called the sheriff. He sympathized, but no proof, no action. They knew exactly how far they could push before crossing a legal line. I started to doubt myself, to wonder if the fight was worth it. Called my sister. She listened, said nobody'd blame me if I found peace somewhere else. But then I found an old journal of my granddad's. "Some land chooses you to protect it," he wrote. And that hit me deep. I realized I wasn't just fighting for property. I was standing guard for something bigger. Legacy, responsibility, the promise of a life built honest. So I got smart. Filed property clarification with the county. Line by line, inch by inch, proof the road was mine. Sent the HOA a certified copy. They ignored it. So I called Harris, my attorney, sharp as attack nerves of steel. She sent them a notice: cease all encroachment, trespass, and unauthorized use, or we're taking it to court. That's when I set the trap. Early one morning, loaded steel post concrete, a heavy ranch gate I'd welded myself, drove to the mouth of the access road and got to work the air, cold and honest, tools clinking, sunrise making every weld shine. I was tightening the last bolt when the golf cart showed up, Cheryl leading the charge like Napoleon with a clipboard. "You can't block a community," she screeched. "This isn't your community," I said, leaning against my gate. "It's my land, my road, my call." She sputtered. Board members waving maps, someone already dialing a phone in panic. "We'll fight this," she snapped. I just pointed at the new lock. "Maybe you should have built your own road instead of trespassing on mine." News spread fast, a clubhouse meeting, chaos in every corner, residents demanding answers. "You told us the road was protected. Do we even have documentation?" Cheryl floundered, silence swallowing her, as board members realized nobody had checked a damn thing. One brave soul finally yelled, "You declared war over an implication." The crowd erupted, panic, blame, fear. 2 days later, county officials and the sheriff rolled up, surveyed the road, checked every boundary. Cheryl begged, pleaded, waved her hands. The sheriff didn't even blink. "This is all on his land. Usage doesn't grant ownership. The HOA's stone entrance illegal, the road trespassing." The look on Cheryl's face, pure collapse. Her whole empire built on sand. Then the news van arrived. Neighbors whispering cameras zooming in on Cheryl as she melted down on live TV demanding justice while the sheriff told her to step off my property. I swung the gate shut, the final click echoing louder than any speech. Without a single punch thrown, I'd ended her reign, just by standing my ground. What came next was almost poetic. Board meetings behind closed doors. Cheryl, stripped of her crown, no clipboard in sight, officially removed as president. Residents sued the HOA for mismanagement and excessive fines. County slapped them with penalties for illegal construction. Cheryl herself on the hook for signing false documents. She screamed, blamed everyone but herself, but the truth was simple. She'd set the trap and fell right in. The change was real. Folks walked their dogs without looking over their shoulders. Kids rode bikes without fear of fines. Neighbors came by bread, vegetables, handshakes, and thank yous. The spell Cheryl held over them was gone. The old couple next door told me she used to be reasonable. Power changed her. But you stood up. The first quiet morning after I walked the property barn doors creaking, the scent of hay and cedar heavy in the air, every step a memory. Fixed the fence, straightened my granddad's old wooden sign. It wasn't just maintenance. It was reclaiming peace. And standing there, sun breaking over the ridge, I finally understood peace isn't given. It's built inch by inch. Every time you refuse to back down, every time you choose to stay when leaving would be easier. So if you've ever battled an HOA nightmare or stood up when everyone else bowed out, drop your story in the comments. This isn't just about property or power. It's about justice, about refusing to be bullied, about the quiet pride of drawing a line and holding it. Tell me, what's justice look like to you? Where do you draw your line? And if this story felt familiar, stick around, because there are plenty more folks out there who need to know they're not alone.